Hello, hello. Welcome to our live stream. I'm Jakob. I'm part of Ectoplastic and MazeTools. And today I want to talk about the structures of MazeTools.Soniface. Because there are different modes you can use the software, and I want to just answer some questions which are coming frequently, like about inserting own samples or how to handle the different design modes. And if you have any questions, just write into the chat, or you can also write us an email, and we will answer this within the next live stream. So let's start here. I will just, here we are. You can now see the startup menu of Mazetools.Soniface. I'm now in the Soniface Pro version. You can also try first the Soniface demo version. It offers mainly the same functionality, and it's nearly the same startup menu, except of the VJing mode. And if you like to support us, we are really happy if you like to go for the Pro version. So this is kind of supporters version. If you like to know how to use the startup menu, I will jump in now for this. So here I will just use the mouse so you have it more visible where I am. And you can see here start and guide. So first I want to recommend you the guide because you will find a lot of base information about the software, and a bit about also how everything started, and that we are always in exchange with the community, even if it's just a small group. People giving us feedback over years, and all this we try to involve into the development process. So here we have just listed a few aspects of what we developed within the past 2 years, where we worked on the Soniface 4 update. And like you can see here now in the interface, I can just go further here. Maybe this one. No. The app. Phone, tablet, desktop. Okay. There's some missing menu of the guide in this menu. Maybe we go just into the Pro. Not the Pro, just the menu of the. Okay, I guess I have to restart now. So, like you see, everything can happen when you think that you checked everything about the software, and then it's just a little menu within the guide where you don't have the buttons to go further within the guide or quit the guide. So I will just restart now. And here we are again. Okay, so let's explain this. Here you have different modes how to start Soniface, and this will just the sound only mode will turn off all visuals. So if you have a quite weak device, or if you just don't like to have the visuals on, you can just tap on sound only and then to start, and the whole visuals will be turned off. If you choose grid visual, this is the standard Soniface mode where you have the grid visual of the grid synth. I will come later to it. And if you start with the VJing mode, you have additional visuals. So the VJing mode refers to the visual interface, which is a main difference between the Soniface version, the free version, and the pro version. And the visual interface, you just have far more options to shape the visuals and make a whole visual composition for each pattern. And then you have here the design modes, simple design and complex design. And the simple design refers to mobile devices which have like interfaces, screen sizes under, I would say under 7 inch, or maybe have regular iPhone 8 or SE or whatever have like 4.7 inch interface, which is quite small in these days. But the simple design helps you to handle the process of making music in Soniface also on the phone, because many years we had the problem that the interface was more designed for tablets or for desktop devices, especially touch screens. And now you have also the possibility to handle the software better on mobile devices and smartphones especially. And about touchscreens, maybe I could say that we updated recently also the Mac version. So when you have just an iPhone and a Mac and think like, okay, my screen of the iPhone is too small, you can also run the iOS version of MazeTools.Soniface Pro on the Mac, and you can use your trackpad for touch. This is, you have to just start the software and then go to settings and then allow touch alternatives. I've no Mac here, so I work here on the Windows machine, but maybe we can have soon a stream where we have maybe a Mac here also within the studio, or maybe I will just add some screen pictures of this next time in the stream. Okay. So first I want to show you the main differences between the simple design and the complex design. So we'll just start now into the simple design with the grid visual mode. So when you have a smartphone and downloaded MazeTools.Soniface, no matter which version, you will have this screen in the beginning. And actually, this shows you first different instruments where you can choose out of different presets like natural bass, fat bass, percussive bass, etc. And you can just click to a free space like here and it goes back. So there's a lot of navigation inside of Soniface, which works like this, like when you choose a menu and go to a free space, then it will go back to another menu. And this way we go back to the main screen. And if I like to start again this menu, this main navigation menu, I can just click twice here on this little dot, on this little icon, and then go back to add maze and add another maze, or go to options and go to projects and choose out of different projects. So there are several ways to go back to this menu. I can also go back via this back button, and I will have here also the structure of the editor, the live and the visual interface and the setup. It's the same like this. You have also visuals, especially you have here also connections, which refers to the case if you have motion tracking set up, and then you will find here your motion tracking connections. This means when you have connected a part of your body, like the arm, to the volume of a sound, and you can just control the volume of the sound with your arm shifting up and down. And how this works in detail, I will tell you in another stream, because this is a whole a whole new topic, and we want today just talk about the structures. So go back and just open this menu again. Here on the second layer of this bar, you got the play and the mute button. You got autoplay. This refers to the pattern mode. When you have several patterns and you tap on autoplay, you will have an automatic playback of all patterns. Hyperplay, this refers to all hyperfaces or live pads. When I can just show you, maybe I will just add a hyperbus like this one, and I will just play. So this is now looping, and when I go now back, I'm in the base menu. I go back, I'm back in the live pad menu. So when I go now on the main screen back, I just tap here on the free space of the main screen. I can tap on hyperplay off, and the hyperface, the live pad, will turn off. And this is really useful when you have connections to the maybe if you have also motion tracking connections to the hyperface, and if you want to interact live directly and not have it looped all the time. Yeah, and the keys, we turn on the key interface, keyboard. And this keyboard works in connection now with the hyperbus. And when I go, for instance, here to the grid synth interface, for example, just tap on trigger. It works also with the grid interface. So this is also actually not part of the structure tutorial stream. but that you can open here the interface of the keyboard is really useful. Especially you can, for instance, turn on this little drop, or yeah, I hope that this is the right word for this little icon here, and this means the keyboard will just use the nodes you selected within the key interface. And yeah, this is how the app looks in the simple design. And I can just restart the app now, so you can see how the app look like in the complex design. I would say the desktop mode, or maybe also the legacy design, because this always was the design. And I will just start now the VJ mode, so you can see the difference. So here I make the same now, just a hyperbus. And you see the visual of the grid is now combined with further visuals with different mirroring, etc. and iterations. And yeah, this is the look we use when we make our performances here in the lab. Okay, but I think I will just restart now again and go back to the simple design. And with the regular grid visual, or maybe I missed it. Just make a little check. Oh no, it's working. Great. So after we have a little overview of the design modes, I will just go to setup, where you have different options. In the audio, you can define the BPM and the volume and the pitch of the whole app. So you can, when you make a pattern, you can change the pitch within the audio setup. And these three values will be saved pattern-wise. This means when you change the BPM in one pattern, it will not affect the other patterns, except you turn on fixed speed. So this means when you have fixed speed turned on, all patterns will have the same BPM which you define here by hand. By the way, here you can also find the Ableton link activation. Wants to access network. This is okay. So it will also ask you to access the network when you first time start Soniface, and this is also to make use of Ableton link. And Ableton link, by the way, is a technology where you can sync audio apps with each other. So when you have, for instance, Ableton, you can turn on Ableton link, and you can open Soniface and turn on Ableton link. It will be connected between Ableton and Soniface within the link structure, and the link structure provides that every app which is in the link structure have the same beats per minute, the main tempo, the same tempo. Okay, here master EQ, just really useful. You have the system settings where you can change also the color mode. So when you sometimes wonder why maybe our colors look a bit different to yours, it's the color mode which is different then. And here you can also define latency, the quality. This especially refers to the visual quality, and you can see this when you have a highest quality, you see far more details on the visual. And if you have the lowest quality, it's better for weak devices to have also the visual. We really like to provide the compatibility for also older devices, and this is an option you can use when you have an older device. Turn on lowest quality. Maybe I can just show you the difference. Maybe here add some reverb and just change the quality setting. Nah, it's now not really visible. Yeah, you can see this here. It's not that fine anymore. And it saves a lot of computation power also. So if you're on battery, you can also turn the quality to the lowest level, and it will save you a lot of energy of the device. So I go now to the middle. Here in connections, you have normally the MIDI interface. We have now no MIDI connection. That's why nothing is shown. But yeah, especially on PC, I can recommend you Loop MIDI to have a MIDI connection between Soniface and maybe FL Studio or Ableton, so you can link also MIDI from Soniface to your DAW or in the opposite way. Okay, here I will start now with the editor, and I will just drink something. So, if you wonder why you have this little dot here on the screen, it's an icon of actually a couple of instruments which are behind this. And first, the position here on the screen refers to the grid synth. So when I tap on this, it will open the grid synth. And you can also enter the grid synth by going maybe here to the editor and then to grid synth. Or if you're coming from the editor here, you can also go to the grid synth. And the main function here is the wave icon to play actually the grid synth. And this refers I can just turn here again the help text. This refers to the volume and the frequencies. So you can hear now it's shifting the frequencies when I change the angle of the controller. And it changes the volume when I'm changing the radius of the controller. So actually this makes now a drone. You can combine this with several effects. And this also changes the visual, like you can see. Once somebody asked me what's behind the concept of changing the visuals and maybe altering the filter. And actually this is a really old thing. It goes back to the main development history of the app. So once in 2012 or 13, it started that we just had the grid and different controllers to change the grid, and already looked like this. You can just have a look to some YouTube videos from us and from 2013, and there you can see the first prototypes of Mazetools. Back then we called it just Maze. And if you don't like to have just a drone, or what means just, if you don't like to have a drone, you can turn on here trigger. And this means that the grid will respond if you move this little dot on the screen. For this you can also make an animation. Or you can go to the live pad and also play a melody by touch interaction, or you can do also this by mouse. And then you see it's also playing the melody. When I now turn off trigger, it will be combined. It will be the triggering of the individual nodes and also the drone. And then I can make the radius less, and you have a nice combined sound of a melody and a drone. And if you wonder which nodes are triggered here, you can see this on the one hand here in the live pad. But why we have just here these nodes? And this is because, and so we came back to the structure, this is because we have here in the key interface, I go to the editor again. This means it's the editor for all instruments and options of an individual maze. So I go here to the key interface, and you can see I've now scale selected, the C pentatonic neutral, and it looks in the old way of our key interface like this. So when I change now here the nodes, maybe just to see, this takes influence of the octavation when I select several Cs. and go now to the live pad, you can see I have just C nodes here. So with the key interface you can choose from a bunch of scales we insert into the software, or you can build your own scale. So go back to the editor, go to the key interface, and now we'll just make it chromatic in this way. Now it plays all notes like this. I will just turn off once the trigger mode, and then you can see it have several notes which works chromatic. Go back to the key interface. Oh. And then pick now another scale. Pure minor. Or the Ionian. Go back to the live pad and you can see there's no black keys anymore. You have just the full notes. Okay, clear this. Go back. Turn on trigger. Turn off. So I'm, like you can also see here, I'm in the C major scale. Like you can see, like you can hear, it shifts the frequency when I change the angle of the wave. Okay, and let's go back to the editor, go back to the structures. I already showed you the key interface. Let's go to the sampler, which is also part of this little icon here, which is on the screen. We call it Maze. And when I'm going now to the sampler, you can see first the sound interface, and you can also, you will now not hear the sound. Okay. Doing anything. Oh, I guess this was just an issue of initialization. So this is a quite high sound. Bats, you can hear this. I would just take the bees. So I have here turned off. I will here turn off the room connection. maybe let's explain this shortly. The room connection. When you have a maze like this, you go to the main interface and just change the node. And you have here the room parameter. And this is a kind of main reverb parameter. You can also see this in the visual, which is changing when you change the room, but especially it will change the behavior in the way of delay or decay length. So when you're using here the live pad, and turn the trigger again, you hear the reverb is quite long. When I turn it like this, then it's quite short. And when I go to the sampler and I turn here on the sampler, maybe again doing the beach waves, and I turn on room, it goes to the main reverb channel, which is also the grid synth. You can hear I go back to the grid synth. So I just turn off the grid synth, and when I change here the room level, it also changes the sound of the sample. So let's go back to the sampler, turn off this. Okay. So let's summarize this. You have the grid synth, and then you have the sampler. And within the sampler, you got also a granular instrument, which you can activate by using the grain shape controller. And the best way to hear the effect of the grain shape is by making the grain walking like this, and then just holding the position where the grain playhead is. And then you can change the grain shape, the size of the grain space. And you can also sync the grain shape to the main BPM by using this sync grain function. Now we are in 120 beat per minute, and the grain shape refers to this speed. And the best way you can hear it is when you have a rhythm. So let's just turn it off and go to the other instrument, the rhythm. So here you have a step sequencer in 3 circles. The inner circle is the bass drum. The middle circle is the snare. The outer circle is the hi-hat. And if you like to change the sound, of the rhythm, you can just go here to sound, and you see there's a number and there's a controller where you can change. Now I'm in the middle ring, so I can here change now the sound of the bass of the snare drum, and maybe also change the sound of the bass drum. And because we hear this is a sample, I can use the sample controller and change the pitch of the sample, of the drum sample in this way. And also the volume. Okay, and you can also filter the bass drum a bit. And change now also the sound of the the sound of the hi-hat. And so go now back to the sampler and the granular controller, and first we have to turn on the volume again. You can hear it's now synced to the tempo. And what's also really nice is to maybe filter the granular. So in the sampler, in the rhythm section, you got also a EQ. So you can EQ your signal. One of the next updates we will also add here some more details about the values, like the frequency value. This would be better. Now you can just you have to listen, you have to hear the difference. Okay, so yeah, this is our first maze. Maybe I will show you also again the spatial function of the sampler. So I will turn off the rhythm. Just tap here on play, and then it's off. Like you can hear now, when I change now the sound of the when I change now the position of the maze on the screen, it shifts also the spatial behavior of the sample. So we have built in here a spatializer which works with distance, which have kind of subtle binaural effect, and this will be improved also within the next updates. And if you are on the desktop system, like a PC or Mac, you can use this whole screen as a controller to send the sound sources to different speakers. So you can set up your system with a 7.1 system, a surround system, a regular one, or a 5.1 system, and then the screen is kind of a controller to spatialize your composition within the whole room with a 7.1 system. We just hear it now in stereo, and yeah, I mean, we have also this in a few of our performances, like the motion tracking performances we did with Tomoko Nakasato at SIMD, or also the motion tracking performance we did with Miyagara, also at SIMD, and there we used also the 7.1 audio output. You see, it's really hard for me to keep on the right topic. I wanted to talk about just structures, and this is somehow really difficult for me to come here from one point to another. But maybe I will show you another thing which also have to do with the structures, and this is automation. So I go now to the sampler again, go back to the granular controller, and maybe the easiest way to show how automation works in the app is going on one controller like this, like the volume here, just tap on it and you come into the automation interface. And in this way you can now draw a curve, and this will influence the volume. And like you can see here on the side, the automation interface is also connected to several other kind of automation functions. For instance, sidechain, where you can sidechain a signal by the amplitude of bass drum, snare drum or hi-hat from the rhythm section. You have here the option of hand tracking. This currently just works with Leap Motion on PC, but we work also on this to have it on mobile or via webcam on mobile, or also on the PC via the webcam. Here you have the body tracking interface, which works also with webcam and with Kinect. You have the touch controller, when you can make individual touch setups. We should make whole tutorials for all of this. But go further. Here you have the MIDI input channel, so you can, when you have an external MIDI keyboard with a knob, you can just use the knob to control here the volume of the sampler, or you have a MIDI out where you control a MIDI output channel with the volume slider. When I'm in the automation section of the volume slider, like in this. So I will clear this now. Go back. Sometimes when this happens, it's good to know the structures, and I know I can't explain everything in this session today, but it's also a matter of practice, and like every instrument at the end. So go back to sampler and turn this off. And like you can see, now I've here a sample which is in the library and within the tab Scape. These are sounds we recorded by ourselves or asked friends to if we could use samples of them, and we implemented them into the software. We have also a few musical samples, And like you can see here, it's the user section, and here we use our own samples. It's a custom sample folder. So when you go here, I can show you actually now here on my desktop the right folder, but you will find it when you go to the guide, and you can open the guide by tapping on this little icon. So here you can see now the icons I was missing before when I was in the other menu. And yeah, here you can also just see what I wanted to explain before. You have here different design modes, and I go now to the section of frequently asked questions, the FAQ, and when I go further here, you have a description of the local Soniface folders, and here you can see it for iOS, Android, and PC. And the thing is, for Android, we currently have not a folder within the main folder structure of Android, and we know that the default Android file manager don't show the whole data of the system, which is kind of hidden. And I already have been in the folder with a standard disk manager, and I don't know why it don't show it, but since Android 11, I guess it don't show it anymore. You can use other file managing apps. You just need to install one which have maybe a high rating or whatever, and then go to disk Android data, and you will see the right folder to insert your samples. And this location you will find within the FAQs of the guide of Soniface. And there's also a special thing about the user folder on macOS, because we are offering two different versions. One is over Steam, which I really recommend to use this, because it's for us easier to handle and easier to update. But nevertheless, you can use also the AppStore version, and the main difference might be some connectivity features which are maybe not in the Mac version of the App Store. We are working on this, and currently the 4.0 update is still in the building pipeline for the App Store, for the Mac version. And you can see there are two different user folders. So depending on the platform where you bought Soniface, it will have another user folder. And there you can just paste your samples in, and then after this start Soniface, and then you go here to the library and then to the user folder, and you will see then your samples. So here I've just a sample I did record, I guess, with some drums. Yeah. So I have now a drum sample within the granulizer, which is also really nice. When you have sync grain, you can use this in the way of a slicer. So we just demonstrate it. Just go to the editor, to the rhythm section, turn on the rhythm again. Maybe just change a bit the grain shape tempo. Sounds nice. Also could turn on the room again. Maybe go back to the rhythm and just change a bit the rhythm. What I can also say about the structure of the rhythm interface is that you have here different banks of patterns to make different drum patterns. You can see I can go here from the first to the second, and then just change the drum pattern. I can also copy a drum pattern by copy here, just tap on copy, go maybe to a new one, tap on paste, and we'll just paste the drum pattern I copied. And so in this way you can make really nice drum variations. So this is all just one maze. When I change it here, you can hear it's when I change the position, you can hear also it's changing the panning of the sampler, and this is a nice effect to then animate the position of the maze on the screen, and you have this panning changing within an automation. And yeah, it's really nice to have a continuously changing sound. It makes the sound of a drum loop more vivid. Can turn on now here also the main synth. So this is a really basic rhythm now, and you can have within the free version up to 5 of these mazes, so you can already make quite complex composition. For instance, I could just now copy or clone this pattern. For example, just clone it, maybe change the frequency, or just turn off the animation. Clear the live pad impulse. You can already hear there's a little impact on the sound because the bass drum is quite loud, and you can hear already a bit of sidechain effect, which comes because of the main compressor, which is on the main mixer channel. We don't have access yet to the main mixer channel. This will be also a thing for the future, that you can say, okay, you have a main mixer within the setup menu, and there you can just define the effects of maybe 3 main mixer channels, and then you can select the mixer channel for each instrument. Yeah, this will be a cool feature for the future, and yeah, we are pretty positive that we will realize this in the future. So I will just make a little variation that you can hear better what I now did. I will just EQ now the drum pattern and make maybe an effect on this, maybe a bit of feedback, which is also distortion in this way. And then also change the sound of the granular, go back to the sampler, and maybe change here just the playhead position. Maybe go, maybe I would just turn off the spatial. And now turn on the other maze again. Maybe I have to turn off here the room setting. Yeah, like I said, in the free version you have the possibility to add 5 of these mazes and to create a scene out of this. And in the pro version, and this is also my main difference between these versions, is that you can now tap on this little button and you see there is the first pattern. I can just tap on this and then clone the pattern, and have now all options cloned, and I can maybe go back to the first pattern and then turn off the sound of the first maze, and when I go now to the pattern mode again, I can make a little transition, go then to the next pattern, and you will hear the main drums will come in. You can also have different options of the main pattern. I go now here to the physics and just change here now a bit of the room. And when you like to make a transition between patterns, and here we also come back to the point of the structures, you can here go to the editor or just tap twice here and go to effects, and there you have the live effect controller, and this affects the main stereo signal which comes out of Soniface, or if you have a 7.1 system connected, it will also affect all the 8 channels of the 7.1 system. You can now do some main effects on this loop. And yeah, because this makes a lot of fun, you also see it in our demo videos quite often that we are using the main effect controller. And just have a reverb, echo, where I can also change the echo sound with a filter. Or you have also an envelopes controller, which alters all node length. When I make it like this, the node length are really short. For instance, of the rhythm section, when I make it like this, it's quite long. And this takes also influence of the grain shape controller. Same for the distance. Takes also distance of the grid synth nodes and the grain shape controller. So it's really nice to combine this then with reverb and echo. And then maybe make a transition to the next pattern. For example, make the echo really long. And then as soon as I'm not holding anymore the interface, the controller will go back, the controllers will go back, and then the effects are off, and meanwhile I will go to the next pattern and have this nice transition effect. Or last thing I want to show you within the effect interface is the reverser. So it takes the whole signal and reverses it. And also you can pitch it down in this way. And then maybe also go back to the other pattern again, and then drop it, and then you're back in the first pattern. I have to look on the time. Okay, I guess we are now like over an hour in the stream. This is maybe just the beginning. Maybe we'll make another tutorial about the structures of Soniface, and maybe you have now more questions than before. And I didn't talk yet about the structure of the visual interface, or even the live interface, and with all the motion tracking stuff. And also I skipped the section of the project settings. I can just show you now. I will save my project, give a name. I always have a little a way of how I name the beats. I would just type it like this, 4-1, and then OK. Now it's saved here. If I want to record this, you can also record here to the record button and just rec sound, and to record the main sound. And I can just demonstrate it shortly. Now I will rec the main sound and stop. And this will be saved into the exports folder, which is actually also the main Soniface user folder. And go here to the last tab of this and just open this. Now I did a little mistake. I can go just back because I replaced the sample, and sometimes things like this happen. I would just load again what I've saved before, go to the second pattern, clone the pattern, and add a new maze. Go to add maze, sample, pick a sample, go to the exports, and choose here my latest recording. Like you can hear, it recorded the sound in this way. I can do now here the same. Go to the granulizer, use the walking controller in the way of just holding the position of the playhead. Maybe sync it again. Turn on the beats. Maybe I can also change the pitch of the sample, just go an octave higher. Go back to the granular controller. Maybe affect it a bit. Turn on the other drums again. I can also automate now the low pass. Turn on the room connection again. So this is the sample of our recording of the main loop. Can also just make a little queuing here. Okay, turn on this also again. And then change the live pad again. make just a little variation of the key. Or maybe go to A minor from C major. And show you again the transition from the first pattern. So go back, I tap now on the first pattern, and as long as I'm holding my finger on the icon of the first pattern, this long will take the fade. So now I'm in the third pattern. Okay, so I will quit here for today. I hope you enjoyed the stream. And yeah, maybe I have to talk the next time again about the structures, because like this is a really new format and I'm just starting to make live streams. This is just my second live stream, and so I hope you're not more confused than before, or if you are, just write a comment under the video or somewhere else on Instagram, or just write us an email on support@MazeTools.com and say like, I have this question now, or just please make the stream more in this way if you have any comments on this. We are really open for your feedback, and we just want to have a new format to get in exchange with you, and to talk about music, and to explain what we developed over the past years, and that you can also use the tool for your ideas, or for your music, and whatever. And on these words, I would just finish for today. Thank you for watching. Subscribe our channel if you like, and just check out MazeTools on your favorite app store. It's on Steam, it's on Play Store, it's on the App Store. And have a nice day. Bye.